This is LA Business Spotlight.
Greed is good.
Always be closing.
It's strictly business.
Welcome to LA Business Spotlight. I'm Joel Metzger. Today we're going to talk about PR, public relations, and I have in the studio Shaun Thompson of Shaun Thompson Public Relations. And they are a full-service business management practice devoted to interior design, art, architecture, and hospitality. Welcome, Shaun.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad to have you. So you like to say that you practice aesthetic PR.
Yes.
And you specialize in the areas of design and architecture. So what's your philosophy with those clients?
Well, just back to aesthetic PR. Basically, aesthetic is something representing a love of beauty and art. And so to me, which I love both of those things, I enjoy representing people that make the world a more beautiful place. And whether their vehicle is through design, architecture, art, even the written word. These are all things and nuances that make our life a better place, to me personally. And so after 20 plus years of being in public relations, going through tech and beauty products and corporate PR and entertainment, that's actually where I started, I really found that I liked this genre. And I not only liked the genre, I liked the people behind it. They're talented, they're creative, they're fun to be with, and they're really super smart people. So Great clients to have.
Yeah. Well, who are some of your clients?
I've curated Christy Nelson of KM Nelson Design. We have Ann McCullough Studios, an architect actually Portland-based, who just signed. Jennifer Dyer of Generation Interiors. Lawrence Rizkowski of L. Rizkowski Design. And through these clients, I've actually been fortunate enough to represent the Pasadena Showcase House of Design and for the arts for several years in collaboration with my clients. And a lot of art galleries, and just it changes throughout the years. But that's the gene pool right now of the strong clients that I really enjoy.
That's great. So, are all your clients in Los Angeles? How important is it to be in the same city as your clients? Can you operate from? Well, you said one was in Portland.
Yes, one I just acquired a Portland-based client.
Right.
So, and for years, I've actually because of technology and FaceTime. FaceTime is important. But because of the virtual FaceTime that we have through
Right.
through all of our technologies, and especially Skype and live meeting, that we are able to do so much without being in person. Mm-hmm. But even with clients such as the Portland-based client, and one of the first clients I had as I started my business was in the Oakland area, Pure Markets. I would always travel up there, quarterly and go and you have meetings. You really do need that FaceTime. There's nothing like shaking someone's hands and hearing their ideas and concerns firsthand. So I think that's still a vital, important aspect of business today. But you don't have to, they don't have to be in the same city. We have planes for that.
Yes, exactly.
And lots of frequent flyer miles.
But do you need to be in the same city with them as far as the people, the outlets that you're reaching out to, the newspapers, those kinds of things?
Actually, because most of my clients are LA-based, and I don't know if you're familiar with the publishing industry, but most of the publications and various mediums I'd be getting them in print, whether it's online broadcast, they're based in the East Coast. Nice. or even Chicago as well. So there's very few outlets here in Los Angeles. So, that's phone and email. That's a publicist's daily regimen.
Well, speaking of change digitally, how has your job changed with the advent of social media? Because it seems like a lot of businesses are trying to do their own sort of advertising with social media. What about how has it affected PR?
Well, I think that it's integral to PR. It's actually enhanced it. To be able to tell your client's story is what a publicist's primary job is. And if you can do it if you can curate that story in a visually compelling way through social media, that just enhances all of the other branding aspects that you'll have in place. So you're still reaching out to the print media, you're still using the online magazines, and you're still doing broadcast and radio and all the other pertinent vehicles. But the social media, you're able to just create an extended network, like cast your net a little further. And all of these points of contact where all the eyeballs are going should have the same consistent message. That's what's key. So it enhances your PR. It's not going to replace it. It should be supporting it.
We had someone on the show talk about social media, and he said it's the special thing about social media is that it's a dialogue, it's a back and forth, so you can actually listen to what they're saying.
Yes, it's not a one-sided conversation, exactly.
Yeah.
And you get instant feedback, and so that might actually be replacing some of the test markets of the 80s, where focus groups. Excuse me.
Focus
That's
groups.
what
You're
yeah,
right,
yeah.
focus
So no
groups.
more. We don't need focus groups anymore. You're getting that instant feedback.
Right.
So.
Right. And it's crowdsourced. You can go really big, as opposed to a room of 12 people.
For example, I just got an inquiry from Harper's Bazaar in Romania. So I placed some client articles in Harper's Bazaar in Romania, and that would never have happened without social media.
Wow.
Through LinkedIn, actually.
And
so
LinkedIn.
they found me.
Yeah. So you said 20 years. You've been doing this for 20
Yes.
years. So how important is it for a company to have an experienced PR person? Because they can get a book, they can take a course, they can learn about stuff, but you build up contacts over 20 years.
Yeah, it's vital, and that's even with the caveat of saying I've been in PR 20 years. I've been in what I'm terming the aesthetic PR with the design and art and luxury markets within the past 10, and so my client base and all my contacts. From the time you spend, you go to the design events, you go to the various art openings, the functions. You really need to be out there, and so it's very important to have your niche focus. So you need a specialist that is very involved, not only just with the skill sets of this is how we reach the magazine, this is how we contact the editors, but who's also has their finger on the pulse of what's going on.
Well, it sounds like a great place to take a break. We are here with Shaun Thompson. This is LA Business Spotlight.
LA Business Spotlight is brought to you by Icebox Logic, makers of fine handcrafted audio and video. Go to iceboxlogic.net to see examples. Your company needs to communicate.
We are back with LA Business Spotlight, and I am here with Shaun Thompson. So how important is it for a company to have the right size PR firm? Does a big company necessarily need a big firm?
I would say no, because I operate a boutique size agency. I would say size is more pertinent to the scope and scale of the project. If the company is a Fortune 500 company, they may be doing a smaller campaign within a niche market, and they're going to need the expertise within that market. Right. You don't need to have a legion of PR personnel to be representing you. You just need to have the right skill sets and the right expertise to be executing your campaign.
Right. Well, what common mistakes do you see these companies making?
Not having valid content to offer. As we were just touching upon social media, it is extremely, extremely, extremely important to have something valid to your viewers to say, something that they're going to find interesting. It's not enough just to be putting out the puff pieces like, well, we did this today, and we're opening in this market. You have to have something that's relational, something that people can relate to, and that they find that your clients, your end users, what they find important to their businesses and their daily lives. Right. So you have to be smart about what you're saying. The mistakes is just putting it out there like shotgun approach and not having something valuable to say.
It seems like that is the challenge, because the tools to get your message out are ubiquitous and free, but what are you going to say?
Yeah, if you're just blabbering nonsense that no one cares about, or that's just very, like I said, a puff piece, that used to be something back, this is going back to the 60s, 70s, and even into the 80s, that was okay, but that's more of an advertising piece or an advertorial. Consumers are just too savvy. They know. They're reading the Wall Street Journal, they're reading the New York Times, and they know they want to have an educated, informed opinion. You can't just be talking about your products and your services.
Right.
It's not enough.
And time is so valuable. People get resentful.
Sure,
get resentful unless you're, why are you bending my ear unless you have something?
Exactly. Why is it important to me? Why should I read this? Why should I listen to this?
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, you have a few clients that are nonprofits. Mm-hmm. How is your strategy different for a nonprofit versus a for-profit?
Not much. I mean, it's all. I wouldn't treat them any differently than a for-profit client. It may be. My interest in it may be different. There's, depending on which client it is, there might be a pro bono scale or something more relational with my services and fees. But as far as getting the message out and the tools that we use, it's the same. Maybe a little bit more focused on events. I would say that. I would add that
for
in.
the nonprofit.
Yes, because that's you can generate more exposure, more interest interest and some more support when you're having on-site events, because people get that touchy-feely sensation of, oh, I want to help the children. This is important, and you kind of have that first-hand
So it's
contact.
almost an advantage in that.
Mm-hmm.
In that
It is a key strategy, yes.
Well, Shaun Thompson, thanks so much for coming in. Tell people where they can reach you.
Well, on the web at www.ShaunThompsonPR.com. My Twitter handle is @DesignPR, or you can call the office at 310-838-0444.
That's great. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
This has been Joel Metzger with LA Business Spotlight.
You've been listening to LA Business Spotlight. If you have a company or service and you'd like to appear on the show, send an email to info@iceboxlogic.net.
This podcast was recorded at the studios of Icebox Logic.